Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Adi, and today I am joined by the winner of the first ever Pokemon Champions Major, your Malaysian national champion, Wei Hong, or Kiz VGC. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, and I'm glad to be invited to your channel, Adi, and I appreciate the invitation. Yeah.
Of course, it's great to have you. I heard your story, and I had to make sure that everyone got to hear it as well because you told me that you are a brand new VGC player as of Pokemon Champions. So when did you actually start playing VGC?
Before the Pokemon Champion release, I'm actually started playing since the X and Y, especially in the rank. So, but that time I'm still not playing competitively. However, I managed to play when this game, the Pokemon Champion, released around just a month ago. So I'm just started playing competitively, like just one for 1 month. Yeah.
But you told me that you have a long history of competitive gaming as well and a long history in gaming within Pokemon. So tell me a little bit about your experience outside of VGC prior to getting into Pokemon Champions.
Okay. So in my first competitive game, I actually started with the Crash Royale. Not sure if any one of you know this about this game. It's kind of old game. And in this game, I actually did get invited once to join one of the pro teams. But however, I rejected it that time because that time I still like 16 years old and I have more focus on my academics after discussing with my family. Then 5 years ago, I started playing the Pokemon Unite. I believe every one of you know about this game. It's a five-man play. But in this game, I did not manage to reach the world stage. Yeah.
When did you decide that you wanted to start playing VGC instead of Pokemon Unite?
Just when the time that I saw the news of about this game is going to release last year, I guess. And I actually like VGC so much when I get to play the rank last time, but just I can't find the chance to like because this game is new and also quite suitable for the new player to come in and learn the new things from the beginning. Unlike the other generation, the game you have to train the IV EV things. It's like quite complicated. Yeah. So I always can't find the good opportunity to join.
So you never tried playing ranked battles in Scarlet and Violet.
I did, but only for the first few seasons, like the season 1 or 2, and then I stopped playing because it's kind of time consuming to train every Pokemon. Yeah.
That's awesome to hear. So tell me about your background. You played Pokemon Unite. You played I think Clash Royale. What
Yep.
skills translated from those games to VGC?
Okay, so it actually boosts my confidence a lot, and I know how to overcome the pressure when it comes to the tournament. About how to keep myself calm, and because I'm the kind of person who easily to get nervous, especially in the real life tournament, in the offline tournament. I mean.
Yeah, I've talked to a lot of newer players who have gotten nervous their first time on stream, for example, or yeah, the first time playing in a tournament. That's a question that I get asked a lot. Do you what methods do you use to stay calm when you're playing?
To be honest, in the tournament, I just keep telling myself to keep calm and trust myself because all my because I did so much of practice and watched a lot of videos to learn the things from the streamers outside there, and also I keep telling myself that even though I just play for 1 month and I don't have much experience in VGC compared to other pro players, but I did have some experience in the other in from the other competitive games.
So tell me about that 1 month. What did your practice look like, and how did you learn VGC so quickly?
Yeah, actually, I play a lot in the rank for this 1 month, and I also have some friends from the other countries that helped me to practice, especially for the Open Teamship BO3 format, because this Open Teamship is new for me, as you can only play the cross team sheet in the rank, right? Yeah, so I asked them to use the teams that I think would counter my team. So, for example, just give you guys an example. As you can see in my team, they are mainly built in the physical attackers. There are and only one Mega Flyer, which is a special attacker. So this might also means that I might I might be in the trouble facing the Mega Scorpion with the ability of causing burn. So from there, I also watch a lot of stream from like Chinese, English, and also to Japanese streamers to keep myself track about the latest meta teams. So that's how I found out the Gengar Paris Trap teams would be also one of the trouble, which I anticipated about these for my tournament. Yeah.
When you were practicing, did you have any things that you really struggled with transitioning into VGC? What were the biggest challenges you faced?
To be honest, I did not struggle much for the basic parts of VGC since I played from when I was a kid. So like the basic things like the type mashup, natures and EV spread, for those I'm still have a basic for all of them. But however, during the practice, this is kind of funny thing. Actually, I did not know that Unburden for the Snizzler deactivate when switching out. So I realized that after my friend told me, he's like questioning me why I switch out when the Unburden is activated. So maybe I would say I'm not as knowledgeable as what I thought for the basics yet, for now. But most importantly, I struggle much mentally as I knew I was not experienced enough compared to those players that play competitively in tournament for the past 10 years. Lah.
If you had to give other newer players who also started playing with Pokemon Champions some advice,
Yeah.
what would you tell them?
I would say if you want to play competitively in VGC, just practice more, try hard, watch more videos from other streamers and learn from them. And most importantly, dream big and be brave to pursue your dream. Yeah.
You also mentioned that you needed to get open team sheet practice, not in the ranked ladder, but with other people because
Yeah.
there is no
Yes.
open team sheet ranked ladder. And
Yeah.
as a new player, how did you approach this community and how did you find people to practice with?
The friends that I find to practice with are mainly from the friends that I know from Pokemon Unite, which mostly from the team that I have been playing with them for years, joining tournament, and they're willing to help me so much on the practice and willing to spend their time to help me to practice and explain to me what mistake that I did and how should I do the change. Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. And of course, I think the biggest thing people have to make that people have to decide when they go into a tournament is what team do you use. So,
Yeah.
why did you choose to use this team specifically?
Okay, so I experimented a lot with many different teams and ended up I found out this was the most comfortable and consistent one for me. Uh because this is just a lot of strong hard hitting Pokemon if you can see my team.
Mm-hmm.
However, the EV spread I actually took inspiration by the later players and some of the streamers. So for example, uh if you can see the EV spread that I share, I'm running a more bulky Basculegion and the Floyd compared to others. So especially the Bus with the Cassie Berry, which allows you to win the one-on-one fight against the opponent Bus. So in this case, I no need to so worry about the speed tie. For the Floyd, it's because its power is already strong enough that I don't need much special attack EVs. This is what I think. So fully spread on the EV part on the physical defense will make it like bulky against the Equi or maybe Last Respect with the best damage of 100 from the bus. So it can probably withstand it. And then for the I also picked the Mega Aerodactyl for the speed tie. This is mainly to counter, as from my expectation, there will be a lot of Charizard Y in the tournament. So even though this team can be still vulnerable to the Mega Scorpion, as I mentioned just now, I still pick the team. I choose over replacing one with Mega Charizard since I already practiced much against it with my friends for this team.
Was
Uh,
there any part of the team that you thought gave you an advantage in this tournament that people might want to hear about?
Advantage is, you mean about my team, right? The
Yes.
advantage.
Mhm.
Sorry.
Yes.
Okay, so my team is actually mainly built to counter the Mega Charizard Y because, and also the Aerodactyl in the meta, because the Mega Aerodactyl has a higher speed in the game so far lah. So far has the higher speed, and the Mega Aerodactyl can outspeed the opponent Aerodactyl easily. As I expected, there will be no much people using Mega Aerodactyl, so that's why I'm going for this team. So this is one of the advantage. Also, I think the most important part is I feel quite comfortable playing with this team, and I know what to do and what is my next move every time. Yeah.
Makes sense. So, go looking at the results of the tournament, you did in fact call that there was going to be a lot of Charizard. I'm looking through the standings right now, but the rest
Yep.
of your team, the Basculegion, Sneasler, Garchomp, Kingambit, Floette core, that was very common. Did you expect to
Yeah.
see that same core as much as you did?
Yes, I do agree with you. They are all strong common Pokemon and very, very common, especially in the rank. You can see everywhere. And the reason that the reason that Mega Floyer is so popular is because he's the most popular Mega Pokemon. Especially he is the strongest Fairy type so far, with the ability of Fairy Aura, which I remember is the similar to what Zernix in the X and Y have. So, and then the Basculegion is a great late game cleaner, as you guys know. And the Garchomp is also an amazing Pokemon for, like, I think 5 generations since Black and White in a row. Yep.
Yep.
And the Aerodactyl is also the fastest rock slider, because what I use is the Mega Aerodactyl. So I would say it's the fastest rock slider. And also another thing is that it helps in the providing the tailwind support. And as for the Sneasler part, as you guys know, Sneasler is mainly for the fake out, and he's also a very strong, high speed physical attacker. And for the last, the Kingambit actually leave the opponent in a sucker punch and a hard place. And also when we have a mirror match up with the opponent Kingambit, he also give a bonus low kick.
So on Twitter, you posted a full recap of your tournament experience. But so I won't ask you to tell me about every match. But were there one or two really exciting matches that you wanted to talk about from your tournament run?
Yeah, thank you for this question. I'm actually quite excited to talk about this. So uh, there are total of 2 games that I want to talk about, especially for the top 8 games that you guys can watch on the YouTube. It is live, and also the final. So now let me talk about the top 8 game first. So if you guys manage to watch it, it's actually the toughest match so far for me. Uh, since the day one and the day two. So for me, I feel like this is the toughest one because this is the Paris threat team. So the first game was actually winnable. I purposely lead with the Basque region and the Kingambit because it is a Paris threat team. Most of the people will go for the Gengar first pick. So in the case, I wanted to kill the Gengar quickly to avoid the Paris song, and also that the Basque region will not get Paris threat easily. And it ended up worked pretty well for the first game. But and also I think this was the only match that the Gengar actually did not use the Paris song, and then he died just from what I expected. However, since I was too worried about the Alolan 9 tiers at the back line, so I also did bring the Snizzler over the Garchomp pick for my back line. And ended up it cost me to lose the first game. So because the Edgy Slash on his back line is not affected by the Snizzler can't do anything to the Edgy Slash. So I wasted a lot of turn there. So that made the game loss for the first game. However, for the next two games, I I try hard to think and not giving up in between. So I tried adjusted and decided to lead Garchomp and Aerodactyl as I plan to handle the Perisong Gengar with the Rock Slide chunk damage and maybe some flinches also by relying on the luck so that my other Pokemon can finish it off easily for my backline. Then I didn't end up with any flinches, however, for the second game, but it still went better and within my expectation that the Garchomp was the right choice for the first pick. So I managed to win the second game with 1-1 result. However, in the third game, I decided to go for the same first pick, and the enemy also did the same for all the three games. He lead with the Mega Gengar and the Rotom, as I remember. So in the third game, I wanted to flinch, but as you guys can see, three flinches in a row on the Rotom, I felt was too lucky and also beyond my expectations. Especially since the Rotom was trying to burn my Pokemons with the Will of Wisp. But in the end, though, it was still a close game since I made mistake in the middle part. For example, the Sucker Punch and the Encore from the Alolan 9 tiers. So in the end, the Cassie Berry on my Basculegion actually made all the difference. So it is actually my last Pokemon. If you guys can see, with my last Pokemon, he managed to kill 3 Pokemon on the enemy team. Yep. So this was probably the closest match in the entire tournament. However, for the finals, now let's talk about the finals. I remember the caster asking why I didn't lead with the Aerodactyl for my first game. So especially since the enemy actually had a Mega Charizard, why? As I mentioned earlier, my team should be counter his team easily, and I pick Aerodactyl. And it is a must pick for the Aerodactyl to counter it. So to answer that question, so this is because I wanted him to loosen his guard against my Mega Aerodactyl for the second game, so that he will try to use the Mega Charizard in his second game, and it actually worked out pretty well. Yeah.
Yeah. And,
That's all.
and like you said, both of those exciting matches were on stream. I will link the YouTube videos down below so you can watch them, and also I will link your full tournament recap because you posted a very long Twitter thread with even more matches and even more details, and it sounded like a lot of rock slide flinches in the early rounds too.
I just felt so lucky. Whenever the game goes live, it actually just like I'm not sure why every time I use the rock slide, it will go flinch. I think this is just how the game mechanics work, and I at the same time I still hope the Pokemon they can fix this the percentage for the flinches. Yeah,
I
it's too
I
high.
I hope so too. But what you said about your top 8 set was really smart, where you said, I was hoping to get 1 flinch, but I knew I couldn't get 3 flinches, right? So you can figure out how many turns you get to click Rock Slide and how many turns you actually need to get lucky on. And that sort of calculation, that understanding probability, is really important in a metagame that is as volatile and as Rock Slide forward as this one is.
Yes.
And yeah, so thank you so much for coming on the channel. Did you have any shoutouts that you wanted to give?
Yeah, for sure. First, I would like to shout out to 2 of the streamers that actually helps me a lot in my journey of getting the champion here. So first is the Mastermark VGC that you guys can find in the YouTube. So I actually learned a lot of things about the team building and also the damage calculation from him, from all the knowledge that he share, and he's also very good in playing the VGC. And also one more streamer is from Taiwan. His name is called Uzhen, and I actually get a lot of advice from him because I asked him about how the Open Teamship BO3 tournament will be look like and what should I do to practice for that format. So and then he answered me, and the answer actually helps me even till now. And the next one I would like to shout out to is probably my friends from other country that helped me to practice. And finally is my family members. I appreciate a lot, and thank you for all their support along the way and coming to join me in my tournament by my side. Yeah, so I actually thanks a lot for them, and also thanks a lot for my other friends that I know on spot for the tournament for their support and congratulations and congrats to me. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, congratulations again on winning the first ever Champions Major, becoming the Malaysian national champion. And I'm excited to see you at the World Championships in San Francisco this year.
Yes. As well for me, I would like to meet you in person. Thank you for the invitation to this channel.
Of course. And that's going to wrap it up. But make sure to like and subscribe. And like I said, I will link Kiz's Twitter in the description if you want to go give him a follow and read up more about his run. Try out this team. It is super, super strong. It is probably the strongest team in the format right now. And we've got the replica code on screen right now. Thank you all for watching. And until next time, I'll see you all later.